Our next speaker is Leesa Hart, who is going to share a transformational story with us called It's All My Parents' Fault. And as she works her way up onto the stage, I will tell you, because she didn't give me a bio, that I met Leesa at Ming's marketing retreat last May. And ever since I met Leesa, I just felt a connection with her, and ever since that time I've been trying to lure her into storytelling, and I'm so excited that she said yes, and tonight she is going to share a story with us called It's All My Parents' Fault. First time storyteller, please welcome Leesa Hart.
I used to hate gardening, and it is all my parents' fault. When we were growing up as kids, me and my siblings were all given chores to do, and that included pulling out weeds, raking, sweeping, doing all these horrible, dirty things that, there were just so many other good ways that we could have got dirty besides gardening. So to us, it was just not a good thing to do. My dislike of gardening didn't change as as a teenager either. In my teenage wisdom, I believed that anything that my parents enjoyed had to be really super uncool, and there was no way known that I was going to be involved in that. As a young adult, nothing much changed. I found that gardening was something to be done 2 days, maybe even on the day of the next rental inspection. So that was just not going to sort of be something that I was going to enjoy. That actually all changed one day when I looked down at the small mound that was my 1-year-old daughter's grave. It was raw, it was bare, and it looked exactly how my heart felt, just totally barren, totally empty. My parents were with me that day, and my mum actually suggested to me that we plant a garden, that would help soften the grave, and that it would actually become a more pleasant place for us to actually visit. So that day, we started to plan this garden, and my dad made a cross for it so that there would be something to mark it until we could afford a headstone. We put stones around it to create the garden bed. We did things like improve the soil. All through this, my parents are teaching me what plants to grow, what would grow best in those conditions, how to take care of them. As time went on, the garden has actually progressed, and it's expanded, and things have changed with it. Some things haven't done well, so we've changed different plants, and it's always been beautiful. It's always had flowers, it's always had different colours and textures, and it's been really great. Working in that garden, particularly in the first couple of years after my daughter died, was very, very important to me. I found that it gave me a sense of peace. We were in a beautiful surroundings, and that helped. But it also gave me a sense of connection with my daughter. I couldn't look after her anymore, but I could look after her garden, and that became like a very special place for us. It also, over time, gave me, I guess, a feeling of being part of something bigger than myself. So something that was bigger than the pain I was feeling, something much larger than the grief. And I guess seeing that cycle of life, seeing the changes in the garden, the seasons and all those things really helped with that feeling of not being quite alone, that this was all part of how life worked. It changed my perspective around what I was actually experiencing. The other thing that I found that I got from the garden was a real sense of hope. When you plant a garden, when you plant something that's going to grow and change, you are planning for the future. You know that, or at least you expect that this plant is going to grow, that you're going to see down the track that it's going to either produce flowers or fruit. It's going to grow bigger or just change in some way that is happening down the track. And that was also something that helped me through my grief, because I knew that I wouldn't be stuck where I was, that the feelings that I was experiencing now over time would change, that this was a season, this was just part of what I had to go through. And that's actually what I found has actually happened. And now I'm finding that as a result of this, I actually really love gardening. It's something that I now do as like a way of earning money. It's a way that I escape from the everyday pressures. It's just something that I really, really love, and I can honestly say with absolute total gratitude that it's all my parents' fault.